All right, next up we have Jonathan.
Here we go. Hi, John.
I have a continuation of romance here. It's a rom-com. I wrote a rom-com, and I've never done that before in a short story. This is a surrealist romance comedy. So this was written 2 months ago.
Speak slowly.
This is a backed up story. It's not one of my favorite stories, but it's all I have tonight.
Make sure they can hear you in the back.
Does everyone hear me back here?
Yes.
Louder's always better.
This story is called Coffeehouse Savants. I was sitting in a coffee house, surrounded by mostly women staring at their screens. I was sipping my medium latte in one hand, while my other hand clutched my smartphone. Why was I one of these people? I would have rather read a newspaper or sit on a high-speed train somewhere in Great Britain. So then suddenly I watched a mildly autistic man walk into the coffee house, and I heard him say hello to every woman in the room. Hello, 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 hello. Some of the women returned hellos, but some politely rejected him when he asked if he could sit at their table. I was trying not to show him any attention, but he didn't care about me anyway. 2 tables from me, on my right, he was turned down a seat when a young woman claimed that she was waiting for her friend to come join her. The autistic man finally approached the community table and sat across from a young woman as he swallowed the iced coffee from a straw. He said hello and described how tasty his drink was. He did not receive much of a response from the young woman, other than a subtle smile. I pretended that I was trying to appear occupied by staring meaninglessly at my smartphone, but I was more interested in observing the people around me. When I was a young man, I used to stare at people without judgment and without fear. Where did this shame come from? Where staring at strangers now might be deemed offensive? As an adult, I have not recalled ever being stared at in a coffee house, except for mentally challenged people such as schizophrenic old men and demented old women. I swear I must have spent at least 10 seconds staring at the autistic man at the community table and watched him slurp and burp down his iced coffee. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. It was uncanny in me. 10 seconds. How dare I? How can I? How should I? People continued staring at their screens, except for him and I, as I stared at the autistic man while he stared at his beverage. Both of us were unimportant. Both of us were aliens from another planet. But suddenly our stares triangulated on a cosmic level. While the wrinkles on our faces decreased and every breath we took, the walls in the coffee house deteriorated and plaster and paint chipped away. People all around us began to vaporize, burning off radiation from all directions. The roof above us was being ripped apart slowly, and laser beams of light were streaming down, increasing every second. The humans with their laptops and their phones and their music players and their earbuds were melding to their bodies. Melding. Fusing to their bodies. I continued staring at the autistic man and noticed him. Him and I were becoming younger and younger while everyone and everything around us fused into subatomic particles. Multicolored laser beams protruded from the floors, and we fell from our chairs into an abyss of liquid light, slowly swirling and spiraling downwards, before we were pushed through a wormhole, ever so gravity. In this new coffee house we find ourselves, and everyone, including myself, was autistic. It could have been a parallel universe where only autistic coffee drinkers appreciated the minimalism of newspapers and books, but it wasn't that parallel universe. It was a brave new world, where humans were all idiot savants, all serving their specific purposes for artificial intelligence. We 2 men were the coffee house savants amidst the apprentices. Everyone said hello in this coffee house, and all of these autistic women were not handicapped, but in tune with us on the same spectrum. Hello, 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 Hello. There were no laptops, there were no smartphones, there were no earbuds, there were only these people. We were the future now, in this other universe, where we stared without fear, bared our souls, surrendered our egos, stood as heroes. Having survived the ravages of genetic manipulation in that dumbed-down era, we were society's norm. The world as we knew it was running on autopilot, and artificial intelligence provided everything for us, whether it was transportation, protection, or digestion. We did not need an education in liberal arts any longer, and our abstractness was our finest contribution to one another. There was no antiquated civilization nor society any longer, but a world of collective individuality. We had been propelled into the distant future from that place we were before, when our interlocking stares upon blank faces resulted in faint traces. Just as those humans of yesteryear vanished in the Bermuda Triangle, were we in our places never to return to that time again. We were the greeters of the coffeehouse communal tables. We were all age 25 in this fine future of idiot savants being provided for by the brewing machines of the earth. All of us were engineered for a purpose, as evolution predestined our destiny. All of those chemicals that made us so crazy so many thousands of years ago shaped our genetics, and those that once called us handicapped became the minorities as they faded away over time. Humanity as a whole evolved into a perfected autistic humanity where when feelings returned, when emotions became uninhibited, when eyes fell upon eyes, and words resonated through layers of thick skin. We acted out rarely nowadays because the cosmic alignment was finally here, no longer ignored. We all emerged out of that coffeehouse together as the artificial sun hid behind superficial clouds. We danced and hummed under the genetic trees, and we pushed those buttons for the electromagnetic movables to take us down those neon-paved grassways. There were still ways to experience Mother Nature in the old world. We didn't need force field protected biospheres. Hello you and hello me, we kept saying over and over again, until it became syncopated over a 5-mile radius. The course correction of the human race in light of our polluted past was actually a godsend for our brilliant species. In this perfected world, thanks to artificial intelligence, could we finally be understood as individuals. Time and space had finally aligned. The seconds were no longer hours. But as these thoughts permeated our minds, I thought of myself in that other parallel universe, where I still found myself too self-conscious to stare at that autistic man who was too self-conscious to stare at these women. He must have sat there for only 8 or 9 minutes before he stood up and started saying goodbye to all the coffeehouse women. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye was all I heard for a good minute or two. He took a plastic cup with 7 ice cubes remaining inside, and he said goodbye to the only man in that cafe on his walk to the wastebasket. He walked back towards me and said goodbye once more to 2 more women who were glued to their laptops. He did not look at me. I watched him depart the premises. I sat there still as silence erupted. I heard the clicks and the clacks of plastic made flesh. I put one glove on and neurotically opened the door, fearing human germs on the door handle, even though I did not hear one cough in that coffee house. In the distance, I saw somebody hovering over an ice cream parlor. It was that autistic man again. He had died from an ice cream overdose. I saw his disembodied spirit emitting psychedelic colors of red velvet cheesecake and orange dreamsicle. I saw him off-gassing polysorbate 80, monoglycerides, carrageenan, and propylene glycol. I saw his chemtrails continue off into the night sky, intersecting with distant Hollywood spotlights, giving credence to the twilight horizon. Faint sonic booms of robotic hellos and goodbyes reverberated off the buildings and houses. He had not received the attention he deserved in the coffee house, but now he had the starring role in an everlasting movie watched by only the stars in the sky.
Nice job, nice job.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
That was truly a lovely fantasy.